All right. Did DJ Akademiks pull up to the GNX tour in Detroit and get pressed by Dave Free as well as other affiliates for the whole TDE camp? I'm going to pull up some videos. We're going to talk about it. Should he have even gone to that show in the first place? I'm going to tell you the reasons why I think that he went, the reasons why maybe he should or shouldn't have gone. So we'll talk about that. I got y'all. What else do we got? You see the thumbnail. We got some updates on the Rodney Hinton Jr. case. I got some video footage to pull up for that, and then I'm going to give y'all some reaction there. I didn't know that another person that partook in one of the freak offs with allegedly 50 Cent's BM started doing interviews. So we're gonna pull that footage up. Shout out to Checks and Balances, man. Y'all been on y'all game, man. Shout out to y'all. And we also have some video footage to bring up as it relates to the Pat Stay trial. Okay, the murder of Pat Stay. Also, if you hang around towards the end of the stream, can you see it? Can you see over here? It looks real shiny right here because that's plastic. Okay, you see right here, new ink alert. New ink alert. All right, new ink alert. Both sides. New ink alert. 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 All right. I'm healing up right now, man. I went to war yesterday, about six and a half hours of work. I want to give y'all my full experience of what it's like to get your head tattooed. Some people say it's the worst place to get tattooed. It's 10 to 10 in pain. I'm going to give you my full breakdown, the whole story leading up to getting inked up. You guys see me, like my whole body is damn near done. So it was about time I made my way up to the top. Yeah, hang around for that. And because it's the weekend, we also got some movies and music to go over too. So let's start this thing off, okay? Let's get going. DJ Akademiks getting pressed. So he pulls up to the GNX tour. He said he was going to pull up to the GNX tour while he was ranting at what, Absol. Did he plan on going before that? I don't know. But let's take a look at some of the things that he says or he said on his podcast after returning home and being approached from Dave Free.
Dave Free comes over. And Dave Free comes over. And Dave Free, he's like, let me talk to you for a second, bro. We go talk. And we get into, like, that we've met each other. It was whatever, cool. And his point subsequently ended at this, his point of interest or point of conversation subsequently ended with exactly what Anthony said. But at first he was kind of like, I felt like he was almost asking me like, yo, bro, like, why are you doing this like that? And I was just like, what do you mean? Oh, no. Oh, he had one direct question for me. He said, the only reason I came to talk to you, because I wanted to know how personal. And this is when I realized, I'm like, some of that Drake said about this guy and some of the narratives that's continued, it's affected him. And I understand why, because these are hurtful things that could affect anybody else. People have said things about me that hurt my feelings as well. He said, I wanted to know, is this just content, or is this something that you're carrying personally? And I was kind of like confused, because I said to him, wait, are you asking if I'm here to slide for Drake? Like, I didn't say that directly, but that's the thought. Are you asking that's what is happening here? But he was really interested to know how personal all of this back and forth is to me. Because he said, if it's personal to me, he made it clear it's personal to him. Well, we could get at it. And we got a bunch of people, left, right, and center, him and I both, we could get to it. And I said to the brother, and again, I'm watching him, and his eyes, I'll say the eyes. It reeks of passion, and I understand why. I said to him, I said, do you think that if it was that personal to me and it was smoke, I would come to your concert? What do you think?
Okay. There's a bunch of stuff to react to there. Let's get to the title first and foremost, and then we'll bleed more into this. And I got some more footage and a separate subtopic to get to as well in regards to DJ Akademiks being there. Another video I'm going to bring up. Give me a second. Let's get to the title. Did Akademiks really get pressed at Kendrick's tour? The answer is yes. All right. People, I don't know how many situations y'all been in, incidents you've been in, things that could have went left or right within a split second. Okay. If you're in the midst of the belly of the beast, or if you're confronted by somebody that you're at odds with, have a disagreement with, have beef with, right? Those are the type of questions when you say 0 to 100 split second, real quick. And it could be just a syllable, a word, a phrase, one sentence, or you're given answer that makes you end up in an altercation. You possibly get your ass beat. You possibly whoop somebody else's ass. You possibly get jumped or whatever. One answer, one reaction that makes things go from 0 to 100. You only ask certain questions when you are engaging somebody and it's a form of a press. Now, the thing about the word press is people have an ego towards it. Okay. If you walk, let me just use the words now. If you walk up to me and you say, yo, ARP, do you really have a problem with the battle that I booked? Right. Now, if it's already known that we have an issue amongst each other, like let's say, for example, we've been online saying things towards each other that weren't necessarily friendly or created a little bit of a friction, you walking up to me and asking me the question, that is a press. People just have too much ego to the word press. Just because you press me doesn't mean that you can't leave with a broken jaw. So people got to stop trying to change the definition of the word press to meaning that you got punked. Okay. People separate the two. Being pressed and being punked is not the same thing. It's okay to press or to be pressed. Okay. That just means that somebody might want to ask you a potential friction based question face to face. And that's what being a man is about. No. Sometimes you ask somebody something face to face and it can go right, it can go left. If you take me and Flip outside and it's like, yo, you walk up on me, you press me, you ask me questions, certain questions that you ask make me pop. And me and Flip end up rolling around in the fucking snow. You know what I'm saying? Or me and Verb. You know what I'm saying? When I walked up to him in that VIP section, I'm asking him questions. And we go outside, I ask additional questions based on what was happening between us online, right? I'm not punking these people. When Flip walks up on me, he's not punking me, he's pressing me. And then I'm going to react how I react. When I walk up on Verb, I'm not punking him, I'm pressing him. There's a difference, people. So, yes, he was pressed by Dave Free. Now, how he answered that one question, is this personal? If there ain't another engaging question that this is either going to go left or we're going to continue to have a conversation, it don't get more than, I don't need to get to the point where Dave Free says, because if it is personal, this can happen, I'm right here, I can give you the fade, these people right here can offer you the fade. I don't need that part of it. That's what the question, is this personal, actually means. Is it just content of personal? You're kind of giving somebody an out, right? I'm not saying that that's punking somebody, because the person could just say like, nah, it's a little personal for me too. And then the conversation might continue or a fade might ensue. You never know. But that is one of those triggering questions. Okay. Intended or not. Is this personal? So when Akademiks answers the question and he says, more so, this is content, right? Akademiks, I continue to give him in credit for being an intelligent person. I hear it in the way he talks. I hear it in the way he forms his points. I hear it in the way he carries his podcast. He's a very intelligent person, and I think sometimes he knows when he's tucking or he's steering or he's answering in a way that covers his bases, right? Saying or acting like he wasn't sure why a question would be asked as to if this is personal. When you have a consistent alliance to somebody, that makes the other side, for the most part, an op, right? Or when it feels like you aren't giving credit, or it feels like you're attacking, or it feels like you're never on the same page, you never give credit, you never show love or whatever. Sometimes there's a motive behind it. Sometimes people will ask, is it personal? This person always says that RBE ain't shit. And we know what RBE did for 10 plus years. Is there something personal there? I mean, if I don't know the answer, and 99.9% of the time I do know somebody's motives, right? But if I don't, and I ask the question, right? If you don't give me the personalized answer, now we're getting into punking territory, because now you're tucking your tail, and now you're tucking the truth. Yo, my nigga, you said that the event of the year was trash. Why is that? Well, because this battle, I hate the matchups. This artist, I never liked them. I never was into the blue room thing. I prefer the color red or green. Um, I don't like. I like only big stage events. I don't like small room events. Now you're giving me your own personal preferences and things like that. I'm cool. Like, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? Everybody got their positions and personal preferences, right? But if you don't have those reasons why, then I am credible to assume there's something personal there. Well, ARP, your league is just better than mine, and I kind of hated on you for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna get those answers. And when you don't get those answers, which is what you really, really feel, now you're being punked. I'm making you tuck your tail. I'm making you say, nah, this is just content, when I can clearly see the things that you have been doing isn't just purely about content. It's personalized. That's why when I get up here and I tell y'all, I say, there's probably one person where I give off a personalized vibe when I react to a shit. I still keep it honest, but there's probably one person I give a personalized vibe to, and it's Kanye, right? Because he discussed me as a man. So yes, I'm telling you, if Kanye walks up to me and he presses me and says, "Yo, I've seen a bunch of your streams. Why do you feel the way that you feel?" Now I'm going to give all the honest answers first. At that point, he's supposed to say, okay, you disagree with how I move, how I do this, how I do that, boom, boom, boom. You have your personal preferences, your personal opinions. You answered my question, and he can go his own way, right? But if he continues on and then he asks me that question, is this personal? If I say, nah, I saw content, I just got punked. I punked myself. I punked myself. My answer is supposed to be, it is content. I do run a podcast, but I do feel a way personally towards some of the stuff you do. I feel like it affects the community. I feel like it affects the people. I feel like it affects hip hop. I feel like you're a representation of me and millions of people that I just don't like. And that is personalized. Now you can have further conversation about that, or you can take that personal and you could want to scrap, or you could be Dave Free and say, all right, you want to know what, Ack? Since you here in the belly of the beast, I'm gonna call my man over, man. He finna throw you that fade. And it goes how it goes. Okay. So yes, it was pressed. Now, let me get to this. DJ Akademiks, why does he go there in the first place? Now, that I believe is some of it is based in content. I think that if DJ Akademiks goes to a Kendrick Lamar concert, especially the one that's tailing off of the drama, the battle, the GNX tour, where he's fucking performing Euphoria and Like That and Not Like Us is climaxing the show, then I gotta say, if he covers that when he comes back to it, the privacy of his own podcast, he might have just brought $30,000 to $50,000 back with him in content. Right? So that definitely is one of the motivations. Once again, I referenced earlier his argument with Absol. Now, this right here is getting a little bit more into too much of ego-based reason why you possibly went. We saw his when him and Absol got into it. Absol said something online about slapping him. Akademiks had a valid response to it. Like, you don't threaten to slap no man unless you go and slap a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, slapping a man is even worse than punching a man, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, like, Akademiks reacted. There's justifications for everything that Akademiks said. Like, nigga, I'll try to take your life in so many words if you try to slap me, you know? And then he's screaming. He's like, nigga, I will be at the tour. I don't know which one I'm going to, but I'm going to pull up at the tour. I'm coming to your shit. Now we're getting a little egotistical. You know what I'm saying? Me, I don't react like that. I've never done well with threats. Like, in person, people tell you stories where I don't leave idle threats. I get threatened in a certain way and I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I hate idle threats. I hate the feelings of them. I don't like when people issue threats, period. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if the internet is between us and you threaten me, I do have enough maturity to not walk around infuriated. If somebody jumps in the chat right now and says, yo, ARP, I'm gonna fucking slap you if you ever talk about Kanye West again. I'm not walking around feeling away. It's like, all right, I'll just block you from the channel. Have a good day. You said you're gonna slap me because I talked about your favorite rapper. Okay, good job, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when Absol said that, Akademiks didn't have to feel the need to step up to the plate and prove that he's not scared to come somewhere where he might be affiliated with another artist. Absol is affiliated with Kendrick Lamar, but you went to the show in Detroit. It's not like he went to the LA show. I don't expect Absol and everybody from back home to be, unless he's on tour with them. I didn't see a single show with Absol that came out on stage with Kendrick. You know, so, but anyway, I think there's a little bit of content decision there. There's a little bit of narrative there. There's a little bit of ego there. It's all mixed in. It's all mixed in. And dare I add a possible fourth one, just as my own little personal opinion. A fourth one would be enough tide continuing to turn. And it's been a slow churn. It's been turning the fucking Titanic with this guy and Maul too. But enough tide to turn to make him take opportunities that are indirect to be a little bit more pro Kendrick in what Kendrick actually deserves. That is a beautiful take. That's my fourth one. That's a fourth one. Oh, Absol threatened me. I'm going to be there. But, you know, Absol wasn't there, you know, and it wasn't about Absol the whole time that you were there. It was you took in the show, you recapped it, you paid attention to the reactions, you took note of the songs, you spoke about the whole show. I don't think I've seen a single piece of content of him when he came back and spoke about Absol. It's all been about Dave Free, the other people that walked up on him, the concert itself. It's been all about that. All right. I didn't see him come back and say mission complete. I went there and Absol, I didn't get slapped, because that wasn't really the main mission. That's the egotistical little piece that's there, but that's not the main mission. And dare I say, once again, I think a piece of it is there. Like, look, I got to give credit where credit is due. And if y'all go to Akademiks channel, you watch his reaction to the crowd, the Canadians, the locals, the folks from Toronto, all screaming one more time. His reaction to that shows that I'm glad that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There are just certain things that you realize I have no argument towards. None. He sat there on his stream for 30 minutes saying, yo, Drake, at this point, you might as well just claim Houston. Leave So that's the 4 reasons why I would say he actually went. Okay. Now, let me pull this video up here and show you the intelligent, very intelligent DJ Akademiks playing naive once again. This new ink underneath my hat really bounces out. I can't wait to get this plastic off my face. Once again, I'm going to give y'all my review of my head tat and how painful it is and all that at the end of the stream. I got y'all. But let's bring this up real quick. DJ Akademiks, who is a very smart man, showing levels of naiveness that I'm just like, come on, son.
Planted in there. Then, and this is the last time I said, I'm probably going to get off. Dave Free had a moment. He asked me, he said, he said, what are you getting from this? He says, is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while, but the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting. I reminded him, I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been doing this for over 15 years. How did you think I became me? I said, you knew about me before this shit. How did you think I became? Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought? That was the most insulting thing I could have heard, because his idea was, well, if you're not getting paid by this guy, if Drake ain't paying you, why do you lean that much in that direction? And I was like, huh? I've never gotten paid. Like, the people who I've defended the most, I've never gotten paid from. Now I have my platform benefit them, yeah, of course. But
I got paid before, but not
we
from
don't
them.
get paid for play. Like, you can't buy my opinion. I've always said the moment you can buy my opinion, I don't matter. The moment you could buy my opinion, I don't matter. Y'all seen Lil Baby was one of my favorite artists. He was my top 3 artists. The nigga dissed me on his album, and I just had to do it. I went on a whole campaign against him. I didn't want to do that. But that's integrity. That's morals. I was getting money with QC. I could have said, well, fuck that. The money's too good. Fuck no. So, that was something that I was a little taken aback by, because I couldn't believe it. And I think Dave Free's a very intelligent guy. I couldn't believe he thought that I was getting paid to maybe have the opinions or the POV that I have. Like I could be a pawn for Drake or anybody else. That just wouldn't happen. Nevertheless, there was some good conversations. I've gotten, I got Anthony's contact, and hopefully, I told him, I said, listen, throughout the battle, we probably definitely came off very biased, not only because I like Drake and he's my favorite rapper. And anytime my favorite rapper is going against another person, if he's my favorite rapper, I'm going to say my favorite rapper is going to win. But you guys lost communications with us at that time because again, whether I preferred Drake or not, if you choose to not clear anything up, like today we're talking, they mentioned a few things I didn't know. But when you choose,
all right, I'm gonna chill. All right, that's enough. That's enough. A lot to unfold there. A lot. As I listen live, I really try. I'm putting bullet points in my mind, and I'm like, I hope I don't forget some of these points that are crossing it. Sit up here and try to do the Rain Man Matrix for y'all as much as possible. The thing about intelligent speakers as well as intelligent people, we say often there are people that they sound very smart to dumb people, right? And I've had comments on my videos in the past where people's mad at me like, yo, stop giving academics credit for being smart and blah, blah, blah. And look what he just said, or look what he just did. That's not my point. My point is it still takes a smart person to even be manipulative, to even be believable, to speak in a logical manner, even if it's full of shit. I seen Chris Unbiased's recent blog covering all the twerk and Av controversy, right? And I've left that topic alone. I'm looking to see what TBL says publicly, and I've left the topic alone since then. For anybody that's been asking me, like, "Are you covering this?" Right? But I did see Beasley's interview, and I see people say, like Chris, like Beasley sounds smart to a lot of dumb people because he is smart, right? But there's things that he's saying in there that are absolutely false, allegedly, right? And if you run with it, you run with it. Or if you can't see through it, you can't see through it. Or if you're a believer, then you're just a believer. And it takes intelligence to do that, right? And academics, I'm not saying that he's sitting up here lying. Instead, I'm saying he sounds like he probably believes what he's saying right here, but then he would be very naive. Okay, let's start with the whole payola. He said that was the most disgusting thing that somebody could ask him. It made him feel like, wait, you think that me as a man, as a platform, as a person, as a person that wants to have integrity and morals can be purchasable? Well, Dave Free is one of a billion people that believe that maybe he's paying you. Dave Free is not the first, okay? Where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a billion people on the internet that ask that question. How did they get to that type of question to begin with? When you see somebody having a preference, then you start to look for motive. That's common. That's logical, right? Everybody understands that. Damn, he keeps talking about this event every day. Is one of his friends the league owner? Is one of his friends the battle rapper? ARP just keeps promoting this event. Is there something else there? Is there a motive there? Is he in cahoots? Is he making money with them or whatever? You look for motives, right? People don't just think that things go past a certain line for nothing, right? And we don't have to factor in the fact that it's your favorite rapper. We could leave that off the table, right? But when you go past that and you get into these areas of what the fuck did he just say? Did Maul just rationalize to me that Drake song, like just taking all the songs, did he just rationalize to me that Drake won the battle? Then you start asking, like, what are the reasons somebody would say something that is so clear, so commonly accepted, something that has such a strong backing towards it, even though this is a lot of opinion and personal preference shit. But when it feels so outlandish, you try to find the motives. And it's just like, here's a motive. Did somebody pay you? The answer is no. Okay, we'll take it off the table then. Are you a fucking groupie? No? Okay, fine. I'll listen to you. We'll take it off the table. Are you an idiot? Hell, I'll take that off the table because Maul and academics are smart people, right? Are you possibly corrupted by your personal relationship? And what you're really showing is your personal preference and that type of loyalty, right? Because artists do use their gravitational pull to create favor within media, within platforms. You give somebody an interview, you shout somebody out on your song. People could be spun in either directions easily. If this big billionaire rapper comes down and he starts talking to you every day, you're probably going to show signs of that on your platform. Like, people aren't talking to Drake every day and then get cut on the camera and say, yo, Drake is a fuck nigga. No, it happens opposite. Okay. That's just human nature. That's how it works. And celebrities use their own gravitational pull and power a lot to create favor within people. Okay. But to ask the question, is he being paid, and interpreting that as being something so disgusting, either you're being naive or you're stunting right there, academics. Or maybe what you haven't done, I mean this with no disrespect, academics hasn't really understood what the mirror reflects. He really doesn't understand it. Like, if he looked back at some of his statements, some of the positions that he's taken, how he's carried himself, of being in the middle. He was mentioned from both artists in the diss tracks. He was the primary hub to go to for information and updates during that battle. That battle did a lot for him. It made him probably hundreds of thousands, maybe $1 million+ dollars. It brought him new followers, new subscribers, a whole nother wave of news. If not for nothing else, at least for that moment. And sometimes podcasts are built on moments. Like, you'll see an academic say, like, okay, these are the type of numbers we was doing during the Kendrick and the Drake beef. I expect to leave with at least 50,000 new subscribers after covering the full Diddy trial. That's how podcasting goes. You see what I'm saying? So when you look back at all the content that he did on that battle, he said, his mirror might not reflect. He's taken a lot of positions that just made people scratch their fucking heads. And it's just like, and I really, really could have went crazy on this segment of today's stream by bringing up a bunch of those, but I feel like they're so commonly known that you guys are already in the loop. You guys already know. And for him to be so naive as to why Dave Free would ask that question makes me scratch my head once again. So I really, really enjoy Akademiks' content, and I really respect him as a podcaster. I want to see him increase areas to maintain his credibility. He has a big fan base. I want him to put his mirror back up, and I want him to not play naive when I know he has a ton of intelligence. Okay. And if he hasn't figured it out, people like us that also are a little bit smart, we'll at least put it out there. So if you do have an open mind, maybe messages like this move around, and it's just like, okay, I see where people are coming from. And that's bare minimum. All right, let's move on. Let's go to an update in Rodney Hinton Jr.'s case as we continue to follow this one. All right.
Thank you. The man accused of intentionally hitting and killing Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson returned to court this morning.
Rodney Hinton Jr. remains in custody on no bond, charged with aggravated murder. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick was in the courtroom for Hinton's appearance this morning. Brian, tell us what unfolded there.
Yeah, Kelly, well, for the first time, Rodney Hinton Jr. faced a judge will have a key role in whether he lives or dies today. Jody Lubers told Hinton why he's facing the death penalty.
The aggravating circumstance in this case is that the offense was committed and that the victim, Larry Henderson, was a law enforcement officer, and you had reasonable cause to know or knew he was a law enforcement officer.
Hinton was arraigned on charges of aggravated murder, and felonious assault. This arraignment comes after he was indicted on Thursday. Hinton's accused of running down and killing Hamilton County Deputy Larry Hinton.
P, you really are family, man. You be here with us damn near every day. It might be time to mod you up.
Henderson, as he directed traffic at the UC graduation. Police say the day before, Hinton's son was armed and running from the scene of a stolen car when he was shot to death by a Cincinnati police officer. Prosecutors say Hinton had just seen body cam of that when he drove his vehicle into the deputy. Hinton's attorney, Clyde Bennett, said today his client is not guilty, and it will be by reason of insanity.
It's not a complicated case. It's not a simple case, but it's not complicated. It's not factually complicated. I think the issue is his mindset, his mental status at the time of the offense. That's a straightforward, singular issue that can be resolved, I believe, by February.
Yeah, now February is the target date that they've set for the trial to begin. Next week, on Thursday, they have another hearing to try and see if the two sides can reach a point that they could actually have this trial in February. Reporting live, Brian Hemrick, WLWT News 5.
Brian, we know there are a lot of eyes on these court appearances. What was the atmosphere like in court today? Last arraignment, we know there was an outburst.
Yeah, a lot different than the last time. Very calm this time. But, Kelly, there were two security checkpoints. You had to go through that normal security checkpoint that you always do going into the Hamilton County Courthouse. There was also a secondary spot where you had to check in before you went into the courtroom. And in fact, that one, anyone that was a spectator had to show an ID to get in there. That's something pretty unusual. We don't often see that here in Hamilton County. Kelly?
All right, Brian Hamrick reporting for us live this noon. Brian, we appreciate the updates. And of course, you can learn more about.
All right, there we have it.
Bennett said.
Let me leave the lawyer up there. If you notice, when the lawyer spoke, he went once again to Rodney Hinton Jr.'s mental state. I think we did cover that in the last update. And that's going to be one of the routes that they go. His mental state, his mental state, his mental state. There's a lot of cases that I've seen. Training Day is one of them, right? Reference King, reference King, reference King. There's a lot of times where we've seen, where I've seen people play the whole mental, or he was his mind was gone, temporary insanity. We see all that type of stuff a lot, right? Over the course of history. It is a play for people to use. And I feel like at least 70% of the time I've seen it, I've just been like, yeah, right, whatever. Good angle to play. Let's see if it works for you. But in this particular case, I think there's two reasons why it's justified. Number one, every video that we've seen of Rodney Hinton Jr., he doesn't even look fully stable. He doesn't look like all his marbles is still sitting there in the glass bowl, right? I don't know if that's a before or after thing. Condolences to the young child that lost his life. I don't know, but you know, his footage, the way, and I know some of that is just like he could be bucking at niggas because of what happened, but he just never seemed 100% there. Am I the only person? You know how sometimes you could look at somebody and look at their mannerisms, their movements, the things that they do, and you could say like, shit, I didn't see that in the club. Nigga, stay away from that nigga, man. He acting a little bit weird. Watch him. Like, you know, you could see it sometimes if you have your third eye open to the world. And that's one thing. The second thing is the obvious. I believe, in my opinion, that the loss of your child in that type of manner where a child's life is taken from any loving parent, mother or father, can drive you temporarily fucking insane. Temporarily insane. I do believe that. Okay? So to see his lawyer saying that, you know, I do want to see. I don't know if there'll be like a mental evaluation of him and all that. I just don't know. I just don't know. But it appears that sounds like the death penalty might still be on the table for him. Right now, It's tough because look at the title of this particular update. Hinton Jr. defense team files motion to keep jury from seeing photos, videos of slain deputy. I know one thing. If I'm the defense and if they're going to bring in photos of the slain deputy, you know what photos I want the jury to see as well. You know which ones those are, right? Because as much as I reference movies, I want to say this with all due respect and sensitivity. I'm saying it from a very serious standpoint. If a good lawyer gets up there and paints the Samuel L. Jackson time to kill moment, right? And I'm not justifying the loss of the life of the deputy. I'm not justifying anybody's life being lost here, right? I want to see the trial and I want to hear more details, okay? I'm sensitive and respectful to both lives that have been lost here, okay? I want to be very clear with that. But when you're talking about the type of evidence that may come in, the deputy's pictures coming in does what? It invokes an infinite amount of emotion in the courtroom. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. You know, it might be the right thing to show. It might be the right thing to do. But that's what it's going to invoke, a ton of emotion. There's a difference between Cassie saying he hit me versus us seeing the video. There's a difference between hearing the trial that's beginning. There's a guy that hit a police officer with his car on purpose, allegedly, and then seeing photos of the aftermath because it makes you feel like, damn, I wouldn't want that to happen to me or happen to mine. It invokes emotion, and some people it might invoke rage, and certain people it might invoke, man, fuck whoever is involved with that situation. And that's why I'm saying, if you want to be fair, then you have to bring in and show the jury that other side too. This young man, the aftermath of this young man losing his life. It's going to be a tough trial. And I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, let me tell y'all something, people. My fucking eyes getting red right now. Let me tell you something personal about myself. There's certain things that tweak my fucking nerves. And it draws emotion in me. Kids is one of them. Kids is one of them. I hate burning houses. I hate people that lose their houses to fire. There's something about that tweaks my fucking. My eyes are watering up right now. I hate that shit. Like that shit burns my fucking blood. Another one is people losing their fucking children. Hell, there's a time I got emotional, and we're about to talk about Pat Stay, because my interactions with him was like, damn, he really was a gentle giant. You know, like no man is perfect, but that man ain't deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, this is Pat Stay. And we're about to talk about Pat Stay in a second, but there's certain things that irk my emotions. And I feel like this trial is going to do that to some of us. It's going to fuck me up at times. I know it is. Like, don't have me up here fucking covering this shit. And they put this little kid up there, man. Like, I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna gut through it, and we're gonna cover it. We're gonna be sorry it's true. But that shit is gonna fuck me up. It's gonna fuck me up, man. Especially if they start showing detailed evidence that, yo, this kid got shot in the back while he was retreating. I know they have exhibits and they put pictures out of a gun that was recovered. And maybe there wasn't a crime that was going on. Maybe the young man wasn't an angel. But I always separate what a person still deserves or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if a law was getting broken. I don't know if a crime or a car was getting stolen, or if the young man was really running with a gun, or if he turned around and maybe the cop thought that he aimed at him. I don't know. That's going to come out in the trial. The things that we see before, every time we get to trial and they put pictures and evidence, it'd be brand new to us. Diddy Trial started and we're like, oh, shit. This is what this really is. And this is what really was going on with her. And this is what she really was a part of. You know what I'm saying? That's going to happen in Rodney Hinton Jr. shit. And if those details come out, it's going to fuck with me. It's going to fuck with me. But yeah, I'm still going to remain sympathetic as well to the police officer situation. We're going to just try to find the truth as much as possible and be as neutralized as possible. But don't tell me that you want to bring in one side and not the other. Let's keep it fair. Don't bring in one side and not the other. Fuck, man, bother me. Bother myself. Pardon me, y'all. I should really do tweak a nerve. You know, I told somebody, I told my man, was it my man Doc? I told somebody earlier this year, I said it to them, and they made them think back, and they was like, oh, that's crazy. I said, yo, you realize you don't cry as a man after like being like 10 years old or like 13 years old. It's never out of pain. It's never out of pain anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like as a child, you cry out of pain. Like, oh shit, that hurt. You're 5 years old, you cry. Like as a man, it's never out of pain. I just sat in a tattoo parlor for like 6.5 hours yesterday, getting what some people say is a 10 out of 10 pain zone. You know, not a single tear. But then I come up here with y'all and talk about Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son, and my fucking eyes start wailing up. Yo, I do this live with y'all, man. I'll do this live with y'all. All right, let's move forward. Let's move forward before this shit fucks me up even more. Past day. I'll say on the big screen for this one. This one is more personalized to the battle rap community. We cover a lot of trials, and as you see, I haven't done the trial updates for this. Shout out to Checks and Balances. They keep me up to speed with the updates as well of Pat Stage, you know, the progression of what's going on there. And once again, personalized to the battle rap community. The stuff that has come out about the alleged murderer, what's his name? Adam Drake? Or it's Adam something, right? Yeah, Adam Drake is his name. Word is, dude has been, like, he's beat like a couple murders or situations, right? He's kind of got this of what we know, this thing around him, like, why is he out in the first place? Okay. And shout out to people like Roan. I've seen Roan, and people have done videos to try to bring awareness to the situation. Like, this person does not belong out. This is what happened to Pat Stay. This is what his family is going through. And people continuing to create awareness around this. And that's also what I'm trying to do right now. I think it's important. You see me say it a lot. I just said it on the last topic. We have to remind ourselves at times that put yourself in the shoes of, like, what if that was you or one of your people? And then that allows you to open up and sometimes even remove a bias. You know, like, what if that was you or one of your people? Sometimes people don't react until it hits close to home. Right. So let's see what happened. I think this was last week's update in the trial.
Crown prosecutors told the jury why they believe Adam Drake should be found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of battle rapper Pat Stay. A critical point in the trial, with closing arguments underway and the jury closer to deliberations. CTV's Callan Smith was there in a packed Dartmouth courtroom. Callan, how did they try to hone in on Drake today?
Todd, it was a process of elimination day for the Crown, acknowledging they own the responsibility of establishing that it was Adam Drake who killed Pat Stay, arguing that the jury could come to the same finding beyond a reasonable doubt. The identity of who stabbed Stay is the key question in this case, as the video footage shows Stay walk into a crowded VIP section of the Yacht Club Social. He was stabbed just before 12:36 a.m. on September 4th, 2022. And today the Crown put forward their case as to why it wasn't three other men in that corner of the nightclub. Crown prosecutor Tanya Carter listed 19 reasons why the jury should find Drake is the one responsible for Stay's death, pointing in part to a Facebook comment Drake made on one of Stay's music videos about 18 weeks prior, saying, quote, "I can't wait to give you a big hug." The Crown argues that's an implied threat. Carter also described Drake as hovering near the front entrance of the club, focused on something, to which she suggested could have been him waiting for Stay's arrival that night. After Stay walked in at 12:34 a.m., he heads to the VIP section, greeting people, and after a verbal altercation the jury heard about, Carter says you can see Stay's body is impacted and alleges Drake's body jerks forward. The video does not show the stabbing itself, as Stay's back is to the camera. There's also no knife to be seen. If the jury agrees Drake is responsible, then they need to determine if he had intent to kill Stay or had intent to cause bodily harm that he would know is likely to cause death. To that end, the Crown argued Stay was, quote, blindsided by Drake and alleged he went to the washroom after with enough time to clean off a knife. No knife was ever recovered in this case. Now, the Crown finished their final submissions by thanking the jury for their attention, and they asked that they do find Drake guilty of second-degree murder. Next up, the defense will present their closing arguments on Monday after electing not to call any evidence. Justice Scott Norton gives his instructions to the jury on Tuesday, at which point deliberations will begin. Todd.
All right, Callum, in the newsroom with us. I know you'll be continuing your reporting there next week. Thank you.
So, I don't give a fuck about Adam. I want to leave Pat up here. Where's Pat? There's Pat. Okay. Yes. Happy Father's Day to everybody that's out there. Shout out to the family, Pat Stay's family, and his beautiful children. Condolences continued forever. Okay. That's why I'm leaving Jay's joint up here too. Jay says, "Look at you go." One of Pat's long-running mottos, man. He drops that on you, you might lose a round from that point. Real shit. Look at you go. Long live Pat Stay. Let justice be served. All right. So on the negative side of things, this is my first time hearing this. I know we do a lot of legal stuff in the entertainment and hip hop and celebrity world. I've never seen during a trial somebody do process of elimination, right? So what they set up there was, what he just mentioned was, Pat was in a corner with a couple people, which also included the guy Adam Drake, and there's a couple other people, and he used the words process of elimination because it's not picked up exactly on camera of when or who did it. They see a reaction from Pat, and they see kind of like a bodily movement from Adam Drake. The knife was never recovered, so the actual, was never seen, but just little small things that they're seeing. And to go through process of elimination, like, okay, doesn't look like this person, doesn't look like that person. You want to hope that that doesn't create for what a lot of people are thinking is a monster. This guy, Adam Drake, I'm being 1,000. That doesn't put the jury in a position to do this whole reasonable doubt thing, right? Now, my fairness sometimes fucks me up. And I just got finished saying, what if that was you, right? But it's not us, because we don't have 4 alleged murders or whatever, how many allegedly hanging over our heads from the past, and this fucking guy, Adam Drake. But, the jury does have a job to do. It's like that reasonable doubt thing. And I'm pretty sure the judge has enforced that when the trial started. But at the same token, to the credit of Pat Stay's side, what do we say about a defendant? Their reputation, their past, their record, all those things matter. This is why lawyers go after somebody's credibility immediately. If they try to catch you as a liar, they go after that. I want to assume some of the things that's come up during this fucking case is this guy's track record. This guy's track record, right? This guy, Adam Drake. If this was like the first time and nobody ever knew him for that and whatever, and the jury got out there and said, I don't have enough evidence to convict him, then it would be an L for Pat Stay's family and friends and the rest of us, and it would hurt. But this guy's history got to play a big factor. It has to. It has to. And we've seen the family and people that support Pat Stay have said over a course of time that he's got like this fear thing around him out there. Like a lot of people are scared to testify against him. A lot of people are scared to speak up against him. Well, if he's got this reputation of like, hell, he's already, taken the life of a bunch of people already. It's just like, you understand the fear factor, of course, but a past has to be quantified and be a part of what the jury gets to interpret. It has to be. It has to be. If this guy has a fucking track record of stealing and then he ends up in court because he's walking around with my watch, right? All of a sudden, we're gonna forget like he's been arrested for stealing 20 times? No. And then also that Facebook post. Can't wait to give you a hug. It's just certain things that I don't care how it's typed in black and white. I don't care if you're a juror. I don't care if you're a friend of the defendant, Adam Drake. We're not doing the whole avoidance of common sense. We're not doing the avoidance of how we really talk, especially people that might be violent, or especially people that might be into it. If somebody that I feel has tension with me, or doesn't like me, or has trolled me before, or has said that, yo, man, I don't like your podcast, and even if it's a non-threatening thing to me, if you then tweet me or put on my Facebook post, can't wait to give you a hug when I see you, ARP, I'm supposed to interpret that as a threat. Because what you're doing is you're just not typing, which, it's a subliminal. And anybody else that interprets anything differently would be playing stupid. Don't try to take me into court now and say, well, it says hug, so maybe he really meant that. What? No. I can't wait to see you. Now, I don't know if any reports or anything from the trial has come out about motive, if they've had past issues already leading up to this situation, because if they're saying that it looks like maybe he was at the window waiting for Pat to come, looking around for him. When Pat did come, it looks like he was moving as if he was dropping on Pat. So what is the past between this guy, Adam Drake, and Pat? Did they have an issue already? I think I saw people come out and do videos saying that Pat Stay was lured into this, as if he was set. Like, what is the history of these two guys? Right. But in any event, checks and balances. Once again, shout out to y'all for keeping us up to date with it. And yes, we do pray that for Pat Stay and for his family, that justice is actually truly served. I don't think many people give two shits about this guy, Adam Drake. Yeah, I just said it. Okay. Rest in peace. Condolences to Pat Stay. Condolences to his family. Once again. All right. I still owe y'all a couple more topics. Actually, one more, and then a highlight, and then I'm going to get into movies, music, and the pain of a head tattoo. Full review of my experience going in there and sitting down for like six plus hours yesterday. You can probably see some of it, right? All right, let's check this out real quick. Let me lighten the mood a little bit. The last two is a little tough for me to deliver. Let me lighten the mood a little bit. So one of the alleged male escorts involved in Diddy's freak offs, allegedly, is making his rounds. We saw the Hammer guy, the Punisher guy. He did Cam shit. He did Vlad. I think there was another platform that he did as well. The Sorry Shoe podcast, we will not be reaching out to him. I'm pretty sure we could offer him a bag and bring him up here. I think we've seen everything that we want to hear from him at this point in a combination of trial and the platforms he's already done. We cool. But who is this guy? Like, he supposedly was involved with freak offs, not with Cassie, but with Daphne. Allegedly. 50 cents BM.
I'm like, whew. I'm about to break her back.
Were you required to go down on her?
No.
Did they ask you to?
I think they knew better. Like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of caught my vibe.
So that was a lot of money. So definitely you were like, oh, if they call again, let me know.
Yeah, holla at me. I thought I was going to get more than that because there was a stack of hundreds like that sitting on the dresser. And I'm like, whew. I'm about to break her back.
What are my winos doing in the chat? Are they okay? Did you know whose baby mama Jane Doe was?
I didn't until I talked to him. Remember I told you my boy?
Yeah.
Him. So the next weekend at the show, I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy. It was. And he pulled up on the phone. He was like, was this her? And I was like, yeah. I was like, how the fuck you know that? And he was like, that's 50 Cent baby mom. And I was like, no fucking way. I was like, no way. And then, I instantly, I Googled the shit, and I was like, that's crazy.
In the last 6 weeks, Van Horn Law Group has confirmed 6
There's a second one. Let's check this out real quick too.
So he came out the room with a bottle of red wine, and I said, strap, like, you know, like he got the wine strapped, and he was like, huh? And I was like, strap, like you. And he was like, what you mean?
Where was the second time? Was it in Los Angeles?
Both
okay,
times.
and where'd you guys meet?
The Audition, the first time, and the second place was like called Lamar, something like that.
Okay, same Jane Doe or different woman?
Same Jane Doe.
What happened?
She kind of like chilled and talked to me longer this time. Like we smoked, drink, and just kind of like chilled and talked for a while. And then she already had like a list of songs that she wanted me to dance to this time. She was like, I got these songs. I want you. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
You did a private dance for her?
Yep.
Where was the baby all at this time?
It wasn't in the living room with a bunch of towels. It was in the room.
Now, hotel towels to catch this baby oil?
Yes, a whole bunch of the bitches. I'm pretty sure the hotel gave them like 6 extra towels. I walked that bitch. I was like, "You're trying to kill me, this bitch." And then one time, she was like, "You want something to drink?" And I was like, "All they had was tequila." And I was like, "No, I'm good. I drink red wine." So he came out the room with a bottle of red wine, and I said, "Strap," like, you know, like he got the wine strapped, and he was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Strap." Like he was like, what you mean? like you got the wine, like strap. I'm not saying I have to. Yeah, he was like, no, I'm saying, what you mean strap? Like, I'm like, bro, relax. Like I don't have a gun. Like I'm saying, like you have the wine, like you got it strapped. It's a saying. He was like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know the saying. I'm curious. I'm learning.
You know, one thought that comes to mind for me when I watch that. Let me get serious for a second. Is once again, the C word, the defense got to play it throughout the whole trial. Consent, for anybody that's new to the Sorry Shoe podcast. Consent. You know, the prosecution has to paint the picture of a whole bunch of victims. Well, that's what they've been doing. Victims. Unwilling, force, coercion, forced work labor, shitty conditions. You didn't do it, your rent was going to stop getting paid. You didn't do it, your album wasn't going to come out. You didn't do it, you might get hit or fucked up, or you might get killed by, you know, that's what the prosecution continues to try to show. And you got interviews like this with like the Punisher or this guy running around making jokes and laughing about their sexual private experiences in the midst of these freak-offs. And the freak-offs, make no mistake, is the biggest piece of the RICO that they're going for, the sex trafficking, right? That's the biggest piece. The kidnapping and the arson, like nobody's talking about the arson. Like, I don't even think you got him dead to rights on the arson, to be honest. Like his truck was there, right, allegedly, after the cop showed up. But I don't even think you got him dead to rights. There's a ton of reasonable doubt that, you know, the jury can go back and say, do we really want to, you know, say guilty of that arson charge? It's the sex trafficking one. That's the biggest one that he's facing. He's fighting underneath this whole RICO umbrella. And you got people out here doing interviews, laughing and joking, purely that were consensual, right? Oh, wait, I get it. You were paid or you crossed the line. Did y'all see any of the streams that we did about these situations where it's like, damn, I don't want to end up in jail because me and a shorty connected and she flew in and we hung out and blah. You know? It's bugged out. It's fucking bugged out. But 50, we love you. This is an L though. It's an L that's not going nowhere. It is what it is. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that one. We'll get back to the trial when they get back to court tomorrow. Okay. All right. Quick shout out, and then I'll get to all the side stuff off of our normal topics. Quick shout out. This guy right here, once again, shout out also to Checks and Balances for bringing this one into our chat. All in Caps Media. Y'all go to his page and check him out, man. See if you like anything on his page. But I see one of the things he's got pinned to the top is this B Magic versus Coach Corleone video. And these graphics look crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Check this one out.
I touch lanes and Mustangs, the car giddy up. I make sure that the next time he fall, the Lord pick him up. Big Drake, want the smoke? I keep the L on me. Kill him with assault like a snail. I keep a shell on me. Call a homie for the fish scale. He dropped the whale on me. Get wild, no reptile. I keep a scale on me. Rock back, the rock slap like Chappelle homie. Work powder, church tower, keep a bell on me.
goated Magic.
I
That's a
touch
dope
lanes
video,
and
homie.
Mustangs, the car.
That's a dope
Giddy
video,
up.
man. This is a dope graphic. Shout out to you all in caps. I appreciate you. This is dope. Blue Room activity, man. Blue Room forever. One of the most notable, attractive, and sought out battle rap arenas in battle rap history. The Blue Room. Okay. It's just certain arenas that have a name. Club Drum has a reputation in battle rap. The Blue Room has a reputation in battle rap. King of the Dot got one, and I don't know why it stopped. Well, I heard things behind the scenes why it stopped, but the Bunker, that's an arena. That's a known arena. The Bunker. There's not many of them. You know, a league has to stay in a certain environment, promote it, and make it a part of the actual event. Like it's a piece of everything. You know, that's how the arena itself can get known. You know, rather than just a random, we popped up at this venue to do an event. There's a lot of innovation in battle rap, man. And some people they go after even the intangibles, and then the intangibles can become just as big as some of the battles. The Blue Room. So there's some game for you league owners. Some game, little light game. All right. We good. We covered all of our entertainment topics for the day. I don't need to play any more audio right now. So I'm gonna take off my headphones. I'm gonna get into my oh shit. Losing the noise cancellation just opened me up to the world. Like all right. I'm gonna give y'all my tattoo head side of face experience on both sides. You know what I'm saying? I got some letters behind my head. The tattoo runs from, let's reverse in the camera, from like here all the way to behind my ear. I got more work that I'm going to do once I figure out the design that I want in the back. Right? I got a little bit more work that I'm going to get done. Right? I'm all plasticed up. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of plastic still covering. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be underneath the plastic for about 3 to 4 days. And appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be underneath the plastic for about 3 or 4 days. Then that's when I could take the plastic off, start greasing up the tattoo, the ink with with things like bacitration and whatnot. Start letting it get wet and everything, get back to normal life. Last night I was sleeping. I changed the pillows in my bed because ink is permanent, right? I was like, I can't ruin my good pillows, like in case any of this shit spills outside of the plastic or anything like that. So you know how life is when you're healing a tattoo. All right. It's inconvenient for a week or two. It is what it is, part of the game. But I was planning this ink for about 4.5 months. What takes you 4.5 months to get in there and get the job done? ARP scheduling. So the thing about a head tattoo, it's in an area that you got to really be careful what you got going on. I've always taken care of my ink very, very well. I got stuff that is on me fucking so many years, and still looks pretty vibrant and good. Like look at that mask right there, right? That mask right there, that might be like a 20-year-old piece, and it still looks good. And I don't even got the cocoa butter on right now. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been a guy that takes care of my ink. So I plan out when I'm going to get tatted. The artist that I'm using now, he schedules anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks out, depending on what he got going on, which is pretty good for a good artist. Some these legendary people like Cartoon Out Cali, year out, maybe 8 months. Some of these well-known gothic people that go to win awards and whatnot, schedule them a year out. It's just as much about getting the ink as it is about working with that particular artist, right? My guy, 2 to 4 weeks, right? 2 to 4 weeks out. So then you also incorporate me trying to stay out of the sun at certain times. Like 2 weeks ago, I had to go to Tampa. So that means that 2 weeks before that, I don't want to try to schedule, right? Last week, I went to the Cayman Islands, and then if you factor in either 2 to 4 weeks on the back end or in front of that with my artist scheduling, now you create a 2-month window with just scenarios like that. So all I need is like a good weekend where I got something going on, or I can't do it, or I got an appointment or whatever, and that can create another 3 weeks out. Okay, that's how it took me almost 4.5 months to get under the fucking needle and get this shit scheduled between my schedule and his schedule. Okay, now my artist requires 3 appointments. Okay. The first appointment, and even that is over the course of like a couple weeks. The first appointment is, what do you want? What do you want to get done? You should never walk into a fucking tattoo parlor and pick something off the wall, right? Make sure that all your ink is customized to something that is personal, and you won't know when you're young, because I got some shit when I was like 17 illegally, and I wouldn't have wanted it when I was in my 20s or later on in life. You know what I'm saying? I covered it up. I mean, but if you got to walk into a tattoo parlor and pick something off the wall, you're not ready. You should be walking in there with your custom personalized thought. All right. So that's my first appointment with my artist. I walk in, I tell them what I want to do, where I want to do it, what my idea is. And you take my ideas, and a good artist is supposed to bring them to life. So now the second appointment is he brings them to life. Now he's showing me digitally on like his iPad, and he's already drawn some of it and shifting things around. And he's showing me the digital now representation of my ideas. So now we start to refine things a little bit, move this here, add this there. I like these characters, or bold, or leave that open in the middle, that type of shit. We're going through that. And while we're in my second appointment, he says to me, so we're going to do all this on your head, and you are an experienced guy. You got almost your whole body done. Do you want to break this up into multiple sessions? Right? That's what he says to me. And I'm like, nah, I've never done that. I've never been the guy that I want to come and do the outline day 1 and do like the shading and the coloring day 2. I like to get the shit over with, man. If I got to sit there for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, let's get it over with. And by this time tomorrow, it'll all be in the past. That's always my mentality, right? He was like, head tattoos, a lot of people say on a pain meter are a 10 or 10. It's the worst place pain-wise to get tattooed. Now, I have heard that before, and I also heard a lot of people say there's areas of the foot that feel like, just kill me. There's no reason for me to get a tattoo on my foot. I'll never get inked on my foot, so I can't tell you. But I've always heard that about the head. I heard about areas on the foot, and then I have my own personal experience as well. But he's telling me this, and he like kind of scaring me. Now, the reason why he's trying to scare me is because tattoo artists, they don't want to book you out for like, let's say, a whole day, my whole Saturday. I could be missing $5,000 with this client, or I could just do 2 to 3 jobs and still make my $10,000, $15,000 today if I just schedule it. Okay, you're a 2-hour job that I'm going to schedule for this Saturday. Your type of work, I'm going to schedule it for this Saturday. You're 3 hours. You're another 2 hours. Boom, there goes my $10,000, $15,000 for the day, right? Me, if I'm a 6+ job, plus stenciling and getting everything symmetrically lined up and everything evened out and everything, getting the ink on you and all, the stencil on you, that could take an hour within itself. I need the whole day. So he wants to warn people that's going to be in certain areas, like, don't book me for the whole day, get 40% through a serious pain zone, and tap out because you fucking up my money. He's not saying this, but I know the game. So I know why he's warning me about the head. And I'm like, all right, I get it. But yeah, I'm a let's get it all done type of guy. You know that I've been like that forever. So I appreciate the advice of what it is to get a tattoo up there on the cranium. But nah, let's one shot, both sides. Let's go. Let's do it. Right. And he's like, all right. Some people like to use numbing cream. You might want to look into it. And I said, all right, give me some suggestions. I've never used numbing cream in my life, right? On any single tattoo that I have. I know it's getting popular now. Or maybe it's been popular. But I'm like, send me some suggestions of like a brand, that maybe you or some of your clients have used before. And I'll pull it up. And he texts me the brand. This is the brand right here, right? I'm going to talk to y'all about this in a second. Talk to y'all about this. Stay with me, y'all. So I'm like, I'll do my research. And then when I'm leaving this second appointment, he's telling me, he's like, now look, I won't put the numbing cream on you if that's the route you want to go. I won't put it on you. You have to really put it on like an hour or 2 before the job anyway. So you'll put it on yourself, you'll wrap it, go on YouTube, read the instructions of how to use it, come in, time it to like 11:30. That's when my appointment started yesterday, 11:30. Time it as you're being here at 11:30, and then we'll go. But do your research of the pros and cons, make your own decision. I'm like, all right, cool. Driving home, man, I'm telling myself, I understand when somebody is removing liability. I'm not stupid. This man does not want liability of my choice to use numbing cream or not, right? So I put it off a couple days, and then what was it? Friday night while I was watching Game 4. I was watching Game 4, the second half, while I was doing an interview with Three Letter Man. You'll see me and him talking about what's happening in the background of the game, right? And after the game was over, I sat there and I did a ton of more homework about numbing cream. I was like, my appointment's tomorrow. Let me make my final fourth quarter decision, right? So the first thing that I saw that is like very, very low probability, but it happens to people online, is there's some ingredients in numbing cream that people have had a reaction of fainting. There's other people that have had reactions of having seizures. So I said, all right, that's very rare, but that's not good. That's enough to scare some people, right? Seizure from numbing cream? And I'm not talking about putting this shit on my shin or my leg. I'm talking about like people, like imagine putting it on your chest, like your heart area, your major organs, or your head, your brain. I'm like, seizures? Of all places that I'm getting inked, seizures? The fuck? All right. So even if I wanted to move past that, the next likely probability that the scale goes up a little bit more. More people say that this has happened to them. Skin burning, right? There's ingredients in numbing cream that can burn your skin to the level where you would need skin grafting. Once again, low probability, a little bit higher probability though than having a seizure. And where are you getting it done? On your fucking head. Do you want to end up being the once in a blue person that had to get your fucking head skin grafted because you got severe burns? I pretty much have already made up my mind, right? But the more common one that happens to a lot of people is numbing cream, they say, and a lot of artists I saw online saying this, it changes the texture of your skin to the point where it affects how well of a job the artist can do, right? Even the absorption of the ink. So a lot of people have to come back and do touch-ups. Certain things are a little bit more blurry where artists would have been a little bit more sharper because of just the texture of the skin from you using this shit. So I made my fourth quarter decision. Like if you see mine, right? This is it right here. You see mine. You see unopened. You're supposed to use the cap to open it right here. Got a little. I said, nah, I'm good. So I got there, man. And I walk in. He's like, so your head isn't wrapped. You didn't put the cream on? And I was like, nah, fourth quarter decision, man. For those 3 reasons, I ain't fucking with it. You know what he then tells me? He says, good choice. He could tell me, use it or don't use it. He doesn't want to lose the work. He doesn't want to scare somebody away from doing the job. And he's like, shit, if you like it, I love it, but I'm not going to be liable. All I'm going to tell you is do your homework, right? So he did the right thing. But after I told him what my decision was, he said, good choice. You made the right choice. So now said that, let me tell you about the pain. If anybody ever wants to get ink up there on the cranium or where I got it or behind the head and everything like that. I'll tell you where I got ink. I got ink on a lot of my body. So I got ink on my shins. I got ink on the sides of my lower legs. I got ink on my upper back, right? From shoulder to shoulder on my upper back, like a jersey almost. You know what I'm saying? Like a sports jersey. I got the side of my neck here. I got behind the back of my neck. Right. A lot of y'all don't really see that one. You want to know what that one is? It's the quotes, you need people like me, like Scarface. Right. I'm going to try to see if I can show y'all. I don't got a mirror behind me, but hopefully it comes into frame. But I'll show y'all. Right. Behind my neck. Did y'all see it? Did it come out? Did I give y'all the right angle? But yeah, I got my Scarface joint on the back of my neck. You need people like me. What else do I got? My whole chest is done. my whole chest, right, all the way to writing underneath my chest, across my sternum and everything. My whole chest from collarbone, all of this is all done. I got art that covers my shoulders, around my traps, that blends into that back jersey piece all the way into my chest. All of this is done. You know what I'm saying? Also my arms is pretty much, as you can see, my arms is pretty much, there's nothing else I could do on my right arm. My right arm, there's nowhere else to go. My left arm got a little bit of space left here and here on my bicep, but pretty much the rest of my left arm is done on both sides and all that type of shit, right? Also I got my stomach. I got a piece on each side of my stomach, left and right. That's everything, right? So I have a lot of experience getting inked. The worst places I've ever been tattooed. The elbow is bad. The elbow is bad. Behind my neck here, where I got that, you need people like me, my Scarface joint. I didn't like that at all. I remember that being pretty bad. But elbow, I think, is worse than that. Wrist, I don't think I like too much. These happen to be areas of bone, right? Where you're on a bone. Wrist, I didn't like. Anything close to the armpit, I don't like. Oh, that was bad. Right here, opposite side of your elbow, inside here, I don't like that neither. These areas are so bad. Even if I got them 10, 15, 20 years ago, I remember. What else was bad for me? Sternum, I didn't like. Yeah, didn't like that. The rest of my chest wasn't too bad, but sternum was like, But the piece on my back, when they got to the parts that's on my spinal cord, oh, that was bad. I didn't like that. But the worst tattoo experience that I have pain-wise is my stomach. The stomach is a fucking blowtorch. All right? You're sitting under, it's not just the pain of the needling, it's a different type of burn. Like I said, you are sitting there under a blowtorch the whole time. I don't know if anybody else got as much ink as me or at least got a stomach tattoo. That's my worst one. Stomach. This shit is fucking like, and I had no clue leading into my stomach tattoo. I had no heads up. Nobody told me. The artist didn't warn me. I didn't read nothing on the internet. I just like, oh, it's time. Where am I going with this next idea that I got? I'm taking it to my stomach. And I get in there, shirt off, let's go. I'm stenciled up, let's go, boom, ready to go. But oh shit! Just go, go! You know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't in there screaming. That's what's happening in your mind. You're like, go, just get it done. I think my stomach probably was about, for both pieces, about an hour and a half. But the stomach was torturous. So I gave you the background of all my ink and how bad some of those spots were. In comparison to my head, I don't think, some people online saying it's the worst spot and it's 10 out of 10. Now, there's different spots that will trigger you. But overall, I don't know if it's top 3 pain for me. I don't think it was. It's nowhere near the stomach. It's another one I hear is bad. I don't have any ink there, but I hear the ribs is real bad. So if anybody got ink on their ribs, y'all could tell me. But no, it wasn't that bad. The temple, when it come across your temple, yeah, I ain't like that. There's some spots above and behind the ear at times. So I got some lettering right here that starts here. There's certain areas in the back and lower regions here that's just like, you get to the crown area a little bit. There's certain areas, but the most that the whole process made me do at times is like when they're around the front sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like there's areas that make me go like this, like it just tweak. Not only does it hurt, but it forces you. It's like makes your eye wink like, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm plasticed up right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably, when I'm all healed up and everything, I'll probably let y'all see it, throw some pictures up on the gram, both sides and everything. But this sideburn area, not bad at all. That was fine. Maybe the back of the head, because I left a piece open for the next idea that I'm working on in my mind. Maybe that'll be, I don't know. But it's the stomach. It's the stomach for me. So I literally threw this in the garbage last night when I got home because it's dangerous, right? And I took it out of the garbage this morning to do the stream with y'all. I hear this is one of the most popular brands if anybody is going to go through with some of the risks. The TKTX, I hear that this is the most popular brand. This is the one that he prescribed to me. And also, another warning as you do your research, if you have to go use a numbing cream, is there's a lot of imitation numbing creams out there. All right. So find the website and buy it from the website itself. Don't try to get it off of even Amazon. Like, don't try to get it off of nothing other than the actual, you know what I mean? But you don't need it for the dangers and the risks of it. There's so many places on the body, I don't think you need it. And I see people out there on the web, they're going to next level. I seen people doing anesthesia, being put to sleep, sitting there like they in a hospital with tubes in their mouth, keeping their heart going, pumping and whatnot while they're getting inked. I think that's overboard, man. If I'm scared of this, like, the only time I'll ever want to be put under anesthesia is if I'm undergoing surgery or something that I have to take care of health-wise. I'm not putting my body offline from anesthesia for a tattoo, you know? But you know what? I think the people that's going that level of anesthesia, the pieces that they're getting done is so big. You know, like, you got like guys, like, I'm a little bit more old school when it comes to the ink game. And I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody else, but for me, over the years, I'm going in today, I'm going to do the side of my neck. I'm going in this day, I'm going to do my head. I'm going in this day, I'm going to do my shoulder. I'm going in that day, I'm going to do my arms or the bottom of my sleeve. You know, I'm going in this day, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do my leg. I'm going in this year, I'm going to do my back. Next summer, I'm going to do my stomach. That was me. That was me. I pieced it together, you know? And the con to that, to be real, is that what happens is as you bring certain areas together over the years, and especially if you're not even using the same artist, you end up in a scenario where it's like, damn, I got to blend. Like, I did my upper right arm before I did my lower. And that forced the artist to have to find ways to blend it all together. Versus if you have the idea of saying, I'm going to go from here all the way to wrist in one day, and then it's all going to be fluid of whatever your idea is. That's a con of piecing things together if you're not sure if later on you're going to bring those body parts ink in the same place. So that is a con for people like me, I admit. But a pro is you get time to continue to think about what you want to do, the ideas that you have, make it more personalized. The idea of my head even changed as our schedules were conflicting. Some of my idea changed over the months. If I would have got it done month one, it would have been similar idea, but some of the details changed, you know, because I had time to continue to think about it. You know, it's permanent, people. It's fucking permanent. So pros and cons of not getting all that work done. And also these people that's undergoing anesthesia, those are the people that they coming out one day is no ink, next day their whole body is done. It's just like, what do you got, a video shoot coming up or some shit? Are you about to be a rapper next week? I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of you, like, I feel like we woke up and is it Soulja Boy or is it Moneybagg Yo? It's some of these artists. There's a couple rappers that I see. It's like you blink your eye and their whole body was covered. It was just like, you know what? I can't judge. It is what it is. But is that an image thing or is it personal? Whatever. So yeah, if anybody wants ink up on the head area, that's my review of some of the pain. And I'm anti-numbing cream. And not because I'm a hater, like, hey, if I went through the pain, you go through the pain. But I wanted to break down the homework that I did on these type of things. And now that I showed y'all on stream, it's going in the garbage. You know, like I took it out the garbage this morning just for the stream. All right. Let me look at the chat, make sure that there's no tattoo. I got you, Jay. I got you. No tattoo questions. Let me scroll up through the live chat real quick before we get to our movies and music to get up out of here. Let me scroll. We got a lot of tattoo chat in here. Oh, wait, let me scroll up. I'm gonna bring some of y'all up here. Hold on. There's a lot of tattoo chats. Oh, damn. Oh, wait, hold on. Who's this person saying that whole stuff? Damn. Y'all going. So there's a lot of ink heads in the chat. Okay. Oh, you think it, yeah. So is that you saying that, at least from what you have seen so far, that it adds sex appeal? I love feedback. You like the way it looks from a sex appeal standpoint? Okay. I mean, it is summertime. It was more so Gemini season ink for me. I go in a lot of times around birthday time. I'm a Gemini, right? I wasn't doing it. I wasn't pulling a summer move. That's almost like the people is they be like, I gotta get my abs in place because it's almost summertime. I try to be in shape year round. You know what I'm saying? I have my months where I slack, a bunch of vacations and drinking and party. Next thing you know, turn around, like damn, 4 hard months of work. You lose it in 2 weeks of bad eating. It's fucked up how the body does you, right? It's never a 1-for-1-to-1 ratio of how long you're good versus how long you're bad. But no, if you think that it adds sex appeal, then please, by all means, provide the feedback. Thank you. So dope. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all see. I'm gonna post pictures when I'm all healed up. I'm gonna let y'all see the full job. Thank you, LA. Appreciate that. Battle rap. I'm still scrolling up about tattoo conversation in the chat. I'm starting to pull up some of y'all. All right, what's this? How you getting new tats when you file bankruptcy to pay off URL? It's not only that I filed bankruptcy to pay off URL, but I also had Holla book try to book Averb for the Power Moves event, so that in 2024, while the RBE and URL lawsuit was still ongoing, back then I was using Holla to book Averb to generate money to pay off potential lawsuit money to a case that I didn't lose and is now, well, we read the public docket of what the case is, right? But aside from the lawsuit, let Averb tell it. I've been broke forever, period. Tattoos don't make you rich, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people with nice cars too, living projects. I'm fucked up out here, man. I ain't got it. I'm not. Don't try to Tasha K me, Cardi. I ain't got it. I'm warning y'all now. I ain't got it. Shout out to KX. I got you, P. You tried it, says she only got one tattoo, scaredy cat. No, I'm just joking. It might be so personal that that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? When you get into it with the amount of ink that I had, it becomes more of like you are an ink person. You like the uniqueness that you can create, not just with your skin presentation, as far as like the art that you can put on yourself, but people also like to wear personalized badges or stamps or memorials and things. I got a lot of memorials on me. I got a lot of things that are like I'm taking to the grave. Like I feel like this for my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And they're so personal to you. You wear them as a badge of honor. You wear them with pride. You could take whatever shirt, pants, hat off me or whatever. It's things that I still wear with pride. It's permanent. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that type of thing, like that's me, it's hard. It's like Pringles, man. You ain't gonna have just one. The tattoo I want is wild. Samuel Jackson's quote from Pulp Fiction. Listen, some quotes change people's lives or apply to people's serious life situations. You know what I'm saying? Do you need people like me that I showed y'all that's on the back of that's like one that I forget about because I never see it in the mirror. Like, I got that maybe over 10 years ago. And it's just one of the tattoos that almost people never realize. If you ever stood behind me in an RBE event, you probably still never seen it. It's just one of those tats that nobody knows is there on me. It was a combination of Scarface being one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's also tied to the rare breed element that me and some other people around me carry. We want to carry and promote within ourselves for life, having rare breed qualities. We're not perfect, but you aim to be a rare breed. You take pride in not having to be with the masses. You take pride in being able to walk left, even though it seems like everybody else is going right. You know, you invoke thought past what's on the surface. You know, you stand on certain things that it just seems that a lot of people don't stand or can't stand on. These are things that make you rarer. That you're not average. You're not common. And it's okay, and be prideful if that is you. Right. And the you need people like me is tied into being a rare breed. It's tied. It's not just the Scarface thing. It's tied into saying, even if you don't agree with me, you still need somebody that has the thoughts, the intelligence, or at least the boldness to be able to put out energies or thought that contradict or at least give you an option towards what is common. That's what it is. Okay. You need, and I'm not talking about an asshole that's just going to troll. Like when the sky is blue, somebody come out there like it's possibly purple, or the person's going to come out and say the earth is flat. You know, I'm not talking about that person. Not that person. The person that could see Jay-Z is on top of the world. Well, I'll use Eminem. Eminem is on top of the world. And I'm just making this up hypothetically. He's on top of the world. He just went diamond. Everybody loves him. He could do no wrong. But a voice that still will come out and say, I love the person as a rapper. He is one of the best rappers ever. His music, his last album is all great. But that does not make me forget that he, for example, did something to his child or did something to the mother of his, you know what I'm saying? Like a person that's able to maintain both sides of a spectrum and also represent both sides of a spectrum with regardless of how strong an influence is. We do need people like that in the world. And I think there's a lot of people like that in the chat as well. You do need those people, or else everybody's a robot and a follower. If you don't have people like that, those are the minority. You put 100 people in the room, it's a high percentage of them are followers. It's a lower percentage of them that are leaders. And it's sometimes there are shitty leaders too. You know, I don't fuck with anybody that followed Hitler. I don't fuck with anybody that follows Kanye. There are shitty leaders in the world, but leaders are still the minority. I can go on a rant. See, I can explain my ink. Let me leave that alone. But Philly, if you see where I spoke about that little small one tattoo on the back of my neck and it's popularized from a movie. If that's how you feel about your Samuel L. Quote, by all means, get it, because it's personalized to you. And if somebody asks you the question the way I just rambled like that, it's personalized to you. Shit that'll come with you to the grave. What else? Oh, it's the coming directly out the Bible, right? Okay. That's a dope tat. It's a dope tat, man. 12 piercings. You tried it. We love you, but I gotta leave you up here on the screen for a second. Hold on. 12. Hold on. All right, so maybe 2, 4, 6, maybe 8. If I give you belly button, 9. I only got 9. Where's the other 3? Leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. All right. Piercings me? No, one joint. Yeah. My right ear was pierced when I was a teenager. That's back when it was popular. Remember the Dipset days and everything, and some people still walking around with 2 big ass squares in their ears. Like, you know, when I was a teenager, I'd had both sides. You know what I'm saying? But now these days, you know, you might catch me out and hanging out or whatever. It'll just be one that I'll put in there. And I had a phase where, because it's earring and it's so easy to lose, I had a phase where I wore My first real diamond earring was a gift, and I lost it. And then I went with either crystal or cubic zirconia in my ear for like 5 years after. I just got scared, like I lose earrings, man. And I never wanted the screw-on earring because I feel like if it ever gets yanked or caught up in something, then you're gonna tear your earlobe. And then I went all these years where I never had that issue. And I got back to saying, all right, I'll make the investment again. And I don't wear both ears. So if you ever catch me with something in my ears because I'm in that type of environment, maybe I'm out, nice function, nice gathering, at a party, on vacation, whatever, and it's only my left ear. That's the only thing you'll ever see on some piercing shit for me. Oh wow, we really going in on ink today. Shit. Do I need to clip this and upload this to the channel? No, I won't. This is a full stream only. And Jay says, y'all gangster. You scared? Are you scared? Get a dog as far as that needle, boy. That's one other thing about some of these areas. Typically, you think the outlining hurts more than the shading and the coloring. The shading and the coloring yesterday for me was worse because the dragging in certain areas, at least up here on a cranium, dog, the coloring is like he thought he didn't have any head tattoos, so he don't know what I was going through. So when he was done with the outlining, he was like, all right, we're done with the outlining, man. Only shading now. And I'm like, yes, because that's normally how it goes. And he starts to shade, and I was like, this is worse. Look, you thought I was around the corner? Hell no. This shit is killing me, B. What you try to say? I'm so gangster watching this podcast while baking fresh bread in the morning. Yeah, I know y'all got all different types of shit going on. After this, I know a lot of people's getting into Father's Day mode, so shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Skipping down, making sure I don't see any tattoo-based questions. Chat says, I got 3 tats, got all of them as a teenager. Okay, that's dope. Shout out to my ink folks, man. Kay says, taking me back to my tattoo days. Well, you must mean that you're retired then. You must mean that you're done. Kay says they saw he's a warrior when it comes to getting them tats, huh? Okay. Okay. All right. That was fun. But yeah, that's yesterday's experience, y'all. I'll make the movies and music short. Movie wise, I want us to remember to shout out and to appreciate characters that are sinister. Anybody know the definition of the word sinister? Sinister, sometimes quiet. Some of the most dangerous people in the movies. Some of the most kill mode, see red, stay out of their path people in the movies. But you don't see it in them in general until you have a conversation with them. Or until you see them on screen start offing people. So first one, I'm going to say Sicario. I love those type of characters, sinister characters. Sinister characters. His demeanor, especially before we got to part 2, his demeanor was just like, oh, this guy's mysterious. He's quiet. And he killed the whole family, including the kids. And you want to know what? When you watch the movie, isn't it so bugged out that his character doesn't even make you mad at him that he killed kids? Kids are supposed to be off limits. But that's what good screenwriting and screenplay does, and good character development. Oh, we are movie heads around here. Good character development makes us forget that we have the morals of you're never supposed to be touching women and kids. Right? And when he did it, was everybody mad at him? Character development. He was so sinister and so revengeful, and he had justifications for his type of revenge because what happened to his family? Very classic example of a sinister and a mysterious character. Here's another classic movie and classic sinister character. And after I show you guys this one, I want you to tell me which one of these 2 characters do you like more? Not that performed better in the movie, that you just personally like more. What's his name? Shagor from No Country for Old Men. Yo, the conversation he had with that old gas station attendant about flipping a coin, the guy didn't realize that he was flipping a coin for his own life, only because he asked questions that triggered this man. He never got mad. He never raised his voice. He just, instead of walking out the gas station, made the guy gamble for his own life. And as a matter of fact, towards the end, you could tell that the guy did realize how much danger he was in. Just imagine the guy standing in front of you eating peanuts. Like, yo, flip the coin. And you're like, why? You're like, because you have to flip the coin. And you flip it knowing like, he might kill me. My own narration might make you guys bias and choose. All right, so which one do you personally like better from a sinister character? From Sicario or from No Country for Old Men? Which one? Which one? All right, which one? Which character do you like more? Which character you like more? Damn, do I gotta pick? I don't want to pick. I'm gonna force y'all to pick. I ain't picking shit. I can't do it. I don't think I could do it. You try this going with Sicario character? Who y'all going with? Philly's going with No Country for Old Men character. Okay. 2 for No Country for No Man. Who's winning? Who's winning? Country for Old Men. Who's winning this? Country for Old Men is winning. Country for Old Men is winning. Sicario needs more votes, y'all. Cut it out. Come on now. True. Yeah, psychotic person. Well, you got the type of psychotic that is just so unconventional, like this person is weird. Then you got the type of psychotic that can blend in to society perfectly. He's got the psychotic mind. You don't pick up on it until you get into the layers of them and realize like the way the female detective did. She wasn't really, early on, she didn't know. Later on, she was figuring things out. By the end of the movie, she realized like he's a monster. He's a monster. And that's why it was like what team does like he's a threat to whoever he's deployed against, right? And he was smart enough to know how to cultivate a monster like this, put him on my team, because if he's opposite from us, we're all at danger, right? Or we're all in danger. I think that's an interesting question, man. That's an interesting one. But all right, last but not least, music side. This one's for you three. Nah, this one ain't for you three. This for us. Fuck 3 on this one. Do y'all give this man the reputation of the greatest freestyle of all time? Super Nat. Which album was this? This one was The Lost Freestyle Files. He's did a lot of things where a lot of times he stood up on that stage and you throw him a letter. I did that. Did I do that? No, I showed that video. I might have did that too in person or on the phone with King Los. King Los can do it. King Los got a video online. I think it's King Los, Loaded Lux, Daylight, and Hollow the Don in the studio together, I think. And they're throwing King Los words. And he's freestyling off of them. I remember this video not only because it's classic, but because I used it for some of his promotion coming into his RBE debut. And King Los murders that type of shit. I think DNA does it pretty well. Charlie Clips obviously can freestyle, but I don't put Charlie Clips as a freestyler with King Los. I don't. Clips, you might get mad at me. Charlie Clips is a. All right, let me take that back. You know what Charlie Clips does that I haven't seen other battle rappers do really as much? The ability to freestyle within the target. So it's one thing if I have to take a word and then freestyle off of that and make it rhyme, and then it's general topics that I'm talking about, general thoughts. Charlie Clips has done a lot of moments where he's been able to freestyle even directly towards an opponent. So that's a level of I haven't seen a lot of people do, so it's hard to scale. But general freestyle ability, King Los might be number 1. Big Cannon does it. Me and Sharon talked one time about him doing a Guinness Book World Records freestyle stream. He wants to do it. and I entertained it. Where he would just sit there and break the record for just continued freestyle. So Sharon, Big Cannon, Hollow has some solid freestyle ability. DNA, Charlie Clips, but dare I say, Sharon and King Los might be the top dogs generally from the battle rap space. General freestyle ability, Sharon and King Los, I think. Do y'all want to see that 3-round full circle? Would that be crazy? I'm not talking about just rebuttals like a Ill Will and a A-Ward. I'm talking about consistent freestyle. Consistent. Do it the whole time for a Guinness Book World Record amount of time like it's wrong. But this man has that ability too. He is absolutely one of the greatest freestyles the world has ever seen. And if you have a music collection like me, you don't skip stuff like this, okay? So if you listen to a CD like this, and it's just like a whole album that's potentially freestyled, is kind of crazy. All right. All right. That wraps up today's stream. Happy Father's Day once again, people. Happy Sunday. I got my moves to make now as well. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And I will catch y'all bright and early in the morning. Sorry, it's true.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.